Welcome back to the Collegiate Athletics Advocate. My name is Will. Today we're going to go over the media rights packages for the Pac-12 and also the Mountain West. As I said in my previous video, we're doing the media rights before the new additions, since most credible reporting has indicated that they will occur in that order. This is backed up, of course, by the words of San Diego State AD J.D. Wicker, or as Bill, that college football guy, likes to call him, J.D. Wicker Basket, since his words can't seem to hold any water. I'll admit, I don't want to be too critical of him, but I understand what he was trying to do in that situation, but we did rule past his deadlines. So, additionally, the reason we're doing these two conferences together is because I believe one will help inform the other. The order of operations will almost certainly be PAC, then Mountain West. This is because the value of the PAC media product is greater than that of the Mountain West. It's not a jab at the Mountain West, it's just the reality of things. There are 6 TV companies that are currently involved to varying degrees in college football. ESPN, Fox, CBS, TNT, NBC, and the CW, in no particular order. All of the ones bidding on the PAC are the same ones that are bidding on the Mountain West. However, it has become clear that some are more interested than others. There are the obvious winners, like the CW, who did the PAC-2 home games this past season, and were reportedly very happy with the results. Seem the favorites to do the same again this year. And CBS/Paramount and Fox, who are longtime media partners of the Mountain West Conference, and hold their media rights until the end of this upcoming year. Then there's TNT/Warner Brothers, who is losing the NBA basketball rights at the end of the season, is looking to add more athletics inventory. Reportedly, they've been very interested in adding college football to their list of offerings, even leveraging their relationship with the ESPN, ABC, Disney to televise the college football playoff game between Texas and Clemson this past season. ESPN itself is so saturated already with the SEC as its premier product, the ACC/half the Big 12 as its secondary, and a whole host of G5 conferences, including the AAC, the American, as their tertiary product. So I believe that they're likely out, as they don't need to add any more inventory, and neither the PAC nor the Mountain West is likely to get the best value out of that kind of deal. That brings me to an important point. What do conferences consider valuable? Well, the PAC has been very vocal about what they're looking for in a media partnership. They're looking for a solid media valuation, yes, but they're also looking for a, quote, transformational partnership. What does that mean? Well, the PAC is looking like it's about to become the closest thing we've ever seen to a mid-major conference in college football, finding themselves floating somewhere in between the power conferences and the Group of 5. So when talking about a transformational partnership, they mean they want a media partner willing to give them the exposure they need to elevate themselves back up into contention with the power conferences, realistically just the ACC and the Big 12, over time. They also said they were looking to engage with multiple partners, wanting to combine a cable television element with a streaming element to maximize value, exposure, and accessibility for all sports. Looking at the remaining options, NBC already has a primary product in Notre Dame and a secondary product in about 25% of the Big Ten. Doesn't look like they're really looking for more either, since they just don't have enough channels for the volume. That leaves us with the remaining favorites, TNT, CBS, Fox, and the CW. Starting with Fox, they already have their primary product in the majority share of the Big Ten. They also have their secondary product in half of the Big 12 and are still really looking for kind of that tertiary product or a secondary product to challenge the Big 12. However, I'm thinking the PAC likely doesn't want to take a backseat to another conference, especially when it's the Big 10, and most of their games won't beat out any Big 10 games to the main channels. And they'd have to also compete with the Big 12 games that are on their channels. Also, Fox is already home to the Big 10 network, just as we've seen with ESPN and the SEC and ACC networks. The Big 10 network could suffocate the Pac-12's 12 network's exposure, preventing that transformation that the PAC is looking for out of their media partnership. Lastly, I think that Fox values their relationship with the Mountain West, so that partnership is likely to continue. Moving on to CBS, they were actually my original pick for the Pac-12's primary media partner. However, that was likely due to my own biases, as I enjoy the nostalgia of their college football theme music. Come on, you can't tell me it's not the best. And I thought their colors fit well with the Pac-12's. That blue on blue would have been pretty striking. However, they have a primary product in a 25%-ish share of the Big Ten. Are trying to decide whether or not to renew their secondary product in the Mountain West and have a tertiary partner in Conference USA. My argument for this partnership with the Pac-12 still has a few legitimate layers, though. Let's go into those. The first is that CBS is one of the primary media partners for the NCAA March Madness tournament, which is of importance to the PAC, as they're set to be an extremely potent basketball conference moving forward. The second point is that CBS has Paramount Plus, which could be a perfect home for the new Pac-12 network, where Pac-12 enterprises could produce the games for the Olympic sports. This leads me to my third point, which is that in time, the PAC could eclipse a good enough amount, at least, of CBS's stock in Big Ten games. However, I think that it would be hard for CBS to maintain the presence of PAC football games on cable television channels since they just don't have the channel volume to keep up with the inventory. They would need another partner, which could be hard to come by. My initial thought was NBC due to the minority share Big Ten connection, but it doesn't really appear that they're interested. The CW could make sense in this role. However, their exposure level still leaves some area for concern, as they're definitely not a mainstream media distributor. However, Amazon Prime Video could also be that second or third partner. They've had already a few years of experience doing football games and have a standing relationship with Paramount Plus. That integration could be a perfect inlay for the PAC to partner with CBS, Prime, and the CW as well. However, I don't believe that CBS is the only network that could play this role in the Pac-12 media deal. This leads me perfectly into my choice for the best primary media rights partner for the Pac-12. TNT / Warner Brothers, but TNT. Firstly, the PAC would be TNT's primary college football product. While they don't have a recent history as a football network, they certainly aren't a minor player in the space, having had a portion of the NBA's media rights up until the end of this year, like we talked about, as well as a portion of the NHL into the future. They also have a relationship with ESPN, which is notable considering the importance of the college football playoff in generating media revenue and exposure. Furthermore, TNT shares the March Madness tournament with CBS, so they don't lose that element of their value. Going on, just as CBS has Paramount Plus, TNT has Max, which is more popular based on subscriptions and my perception of public opinion than Paramount Plus is, and could be an even better home for the new Pac-12 network. Finally, they also have an existing relationship with Prime Video, including platform integration, which could be extremely valuable. To sum it all up, I believe the Pac-12 media deal will be with TNT, Prime, and the CW. TNT will be the primary partner, with some of the inventory being produced by Pac-12 networks and streamed on Prime and broadcast on the CW. The value of the Pac-12 media package has been rumored to be around $7 to $12 million. I personally believe that value will be on the upper end of the range, likely $10 to $12 million. This will depend, however, on who they plan to add to the conference. This is contrary to popular reporting, which has said that there aren't any schools that will move the needle in either direction, quote unquote, for the Pac-12. I don't believe this to be true. Even though the schools will be added after the media deal is done, the media companies will know in advance. This leaves the Mountain West, which will likely stay with Fox and CBS. The value of their deal has been rumored to be as low as $3.5 million via contract extension or in excess of $6 million. This value will likely be influenced by the value of the Pac-12 deal. As has been said by multiple media outlets, especially JY and Steve over at the Big Mountain, quote, a rising tide lifts all boats. unquote. I don't think it'll be exact, but I think as it stands, the Pac-12's media value will be roughly double the Mountain West's. Like I said, though, this will all depend on who is added to either conference, and I'll talk about that in my coming episodes. For now, however, please consider subscribing so that you can continue to follow along. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment telling me why if you did not. I hope you all have a great rest of your day or night, and be well. Thanks for coming.